Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Gold, and I, along with my colleagues Jeff Bruner and Andy Coffin, want to welcome you and thank you for joining us for Taco Tuesday. Just as a reminder, this series is held on the first Tuesday of every other month, and it's an opportunity to connect our vendor partners with each of you. These webinars are recorded and then they are shared as segments to allow our members to learn about products and services that are of most interest to each of you in 15-minute bites. The links will be shared with everyone who registered and will be posted on the WiLS website, several places, including the Taco Tuesday page and on the individual vendor pages. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the first of three guests that we have today. We have Kathleen McClellan with ProQuest, who will be beginning, and then we will have Chris Lasene from AVP, and then finally Dennis Carter and Ashley Chasse from Innovative. So Kathleen, I would like to turn this over to you. Go ahead and share your screen.
Sounds good. Waiting for, see?
1 second.
Awesome. Let's make sure. How's that showing up?
Looks great.
Okay, perfect. Let's get it big enough so we can all see it. So welcome, all of you. I just heard that you aren't actually eating tacos, so I'm a little sad. But my name is Kathleen McClellan. I am calling from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So now you can see why I would be sad, because we have the best Mexican food out here. I am here on behalf of ProQuest and Julie Salvatore, your account manager for WiLS, as well as Sarah Marcus, as some of you may know her. She is the product manager for Academic Video Online. She started her career at WiLS, actually. She went to the University of Wisconsin and did some undergrad work for you guys and actually got her first job with WiLS. So she's sad not to be here, but we are very happy to be here in her place. So I wanted to talk with you about Academic Video Online. And this is a multidisciplinary comprehensive video solution. It comes with quite a few unique features. First and foremost, our Build by Choice perpetual rights feature, a free media hosting service, but more importantly, it comes with a predictable cost. So this is a subscription product. It allows for unlimited use of all of our videos. So you can pretty much set it and forget it, is what I like to say. There's no worries about triggers. There's no worries about overspending. You decide up front with Julie and agree upon a price, and you get unlimited access to over 67,000 videos. The platform is set up for simultaneous users, so a class of 5 or 500 can absolutely use the same video at the same time, and all of our videos come with public performance rights included. As long as you're not charging for admission, you are absolutely a student, a library, or a faculty member are free to use our videos. So let's talk a little bit about the breadth and depth of content. As I mentioned, we have 67,000 videos. We are 2 times the size of any competitor. And this slide really gives you an overview of our strengths. We have content anywhere from anthropology to zoology, but you can see here a large strength in history, business, all the way down through cooking. And if you don't see something on this slide, it doesn't mean that we don't have it. It just means that I couldn't fit it on there and we don't have 500 videos. We may just have 450 of them. So we really, as a goal, to make sure that this product can really help across the whole university or college as needed. The other thing that differentiates ourselves from other providers out there is that we don't limit ourselves to the type of videos available. So we have documentaries, we have feature films, we also have training and demonstration videos, ethnographies, performances, lectures, news and TV programs, etc. So we want to make sure that you have videos available for any kind of need you might have in the classroom or for research purposes. In addition, academic video is always growing. So this snapshot gives you an idea of the last couple of years. We've added in 8,000 videos, and we're on goal to hit another 4,000 new videos into the collection. And we try to do that every year to keep the content fresh and new and accessible for you, depending on what's going on in the world around us, as well as the needs that may be changing in the classroom. This slide gives you a quick overview of some of our major providers. We work with over 800 providers, but these are some of our biggies. BBC Learning and PBS are some of the most well-known and most well-used in the world of academia, but we also have Sony Picture Classics feature films, brand new information from CNN, the Specials and Features programming. We have wonderful content from Broadway HD for performing arts, ASCD and Annenberg Learning for education. And we work with big name providers, as well as you can see on this left-hand side, individual filmmakers bringing in individual unique documentaries into the collection all the time. Within our 67,000 videos, we have 14,000 of them exclusive to us, and these are some of the highlights, anywhere from 60 Minutes, the show from 1997 to 2014, to Dow Jones, the BBC Landmark video collection, which is Planet Earth, Blue Planet, A Frozen Planet, those gorgeous Earth science documentaries. As well as we have our own imprint within ProQuest called Micro Training, where we license content as well as create our own. So if there isn't content in there that you need for a particular course, we always encourage people to reach out to us, ask us if we can get it. If not, and we get enough requests, it might be something that we could actually create on our own. So that's the content side, but I wanted to bring up some of the benefits to you guys as libraries. The first is our Build by Choice feature. This is an automatic feature that comes along with Academic Video Online, and it applies your subscription costs towards owning perpetual rights. So you basically, the perpetual rights film costs $500. You divide 500 into your subscription cost. The example is just an example on the screen, and that is the amount of films you would get year over year as long as you subscribe with us. So the benefit is not only do you get unlimited access to 67,000 videos, but you get to own at the end of your subscription. So you as a library can create your own perpetual video library. In addition, we have a free media hosting service that goes along with Academic Video Online, and it allows you to publish and share multimedia across your institution. It can be content that your faculty are creating, or it could be licensed content that you have streaming rights for and copyrights for. We're happy to host that for you as well. Now, this is a great time to be thinking about Academic Video Online. We just launched a brand new platform with a mobile-first design and an amazing cinematic experience. And if any of you are interested in that, we would be happy to do a demo for you at another time. And within that, we actually have, we are the first academic platform to bring 360 VR or virtual reality functionality to academia. So we are really excited about that. We have 36 films and more coming our way, and it's available within the platform as part of Academic Video Online. So I have to say that might be the fastest overview I've ever done. This is a good overview of kind of what we talked about, and I am more than happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Yeah. I was going to say, of course, they won't have any because it went so fast, and now we have 5 minutes of freedom.
Let's see. I did tell everybody to mute, so I'm wondering if you can't speak and you have a question for Kathleen, please feel free to type your message in the chat. Otherwise, we will be providing her contact information afterwards.
Yes, that would be awesome. And we are happy to do any kind of demos. You know, any kind of introductory information to get you guys up and running. We have free trials available, and Julie can provide pricing. So we're happy to do that as needed.
Okay, if nobody has any questions, I want to thank Kathleen very much. I did not know that Sarah was a former WiLS colleague. That's good to know. Thanks so much, Kathleen. We really appreciate it. I'm just checking. I think that Chris Lisinik is on. Chris, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Sound great. Let me go ahead and change presenter to you. And if you have slides, go ahead and.
Yep. Well, I'm not slides, but I've got the website here that I'm going to be showing off. Can you see Aviary pulled up?
Yep, it looks great.
Okay, great. All right, well, thanks so much for inviting me today. I really appreciate being here and having the opportunity to share. So I'm going to be talking about the Aviary platform today, but I should tell you who we are first. We are AVP. AVP, formerly known as AV Preserve, is a consulting and software company focused on information management. So we do a lot of work with libraries and archives, government, universities, corporations, media and entertainment, all kinds of different organizations, all types of sizes. And we developed Aviary because we saw over many years of our consulting and software development work a need for such a platform. So Aviary we refer to as a next generation streaming platform. And next generation, it's a little bit, hyperbolic in some ways, but what we mean by that is you can think of it kind of like a, I just see messages flashing up here, so I want to make sure that, okay, that's not for me. So you could think of Aviary as kind of like a YouTube or a Vimeo or a SoundCloud, but with much more sophisticated features. In particular, more sophisticated features around discoverability and searchability, permissions, really granular permissions about who can access what, when, where, and how. And those are the areas that I want to focus most on today. So if you go to aviaryplatform.com, this is where you'll land. This is the main platform, and the Aviary platform has content from multiple organizations. So you see here Wisconsin Historical Societies in here, the Peabody Institute. So we call them sites. You might think of sites as organizations, although they're not always organizations, but that's an easy way to think about it. We have featured collections, which are each organization or site chooses which content, collections, and resources they would like to feature, and that's what populates here. Each page load is kind of randomized, so we have different content coming up each time someone visits this platform. And if I do a search, I'm going to search cattle, it will search across the entire platform. So we search across all of the sites that are on the platform, and we have the organization names here. So we see the term cattle creates results in lots of different organizations' content. And we also get an indication over here that the term that I just searched shows up in the index twice. So index here, if you're familiar with OHMs, think here of an OHMs index. We import OHMs XML. So that would be that. And it shows up, that term shows up in the transcript 36 times. So we get an indication, we're able to prioritize kind of, where we want to see that metadata show up in order to guide us as someone who's searching for content. I'm going to filter down to Bondurant history and click on that. Now this search term will persist. So my internet's being slow here. As soon as this loads, streaming video in multiple ways is never quick. It's load in 1 second. So when it does load, well, while it's loading, I'll show you, we call this the tombstone metadata over here on the bottom left. So we've got the title, the collection, the organization, the duration, agents, and dates. This is customizable, so organizations can choose what they want to see show up here. That term cattle persists. So I've clicked on the resource. I can say, show me the instances of that, hit play, it'll play. I'm not gonna play because you're probably hearing that, or if you're not, then it's at least distracting me. But you can play, and while you're playing, you can continue to see where are other instances, where did they occur, or you can choose auto scroll, which will have the text follow the audio or video that you're playing. Another cool thing about transcripts is that you can turn any of them into closed captions. So when we create transcripts, you can enable them as closed captions and have them show up. They can also serve as subtitles, so you can import or generate as many transcript files as you like, and those can be in whatever language. You can then use those, technically we say turn it into closed captions, but it serves the purpose of subtitles. Speaking of transcripts, this transcript you see is nicely formatted. It's got names associated with the speakers. This was generated using a transcript creation service called 3Play Media. From 3Play Media, we got a WebVTT file, and we imported that. So WebVTT is the most predominant open standard for really time-based text for the web, video, and audio. So we import WebVTT, and as I mentioned earlier, we import OHMs. So if you have OHMs transcripts or OHMs.xml files, you can import those as well. But you can also have transcripts created. So I'll show you that in a little while. On the back end, we plug into IBM Watson and allow people to do that. So I've gotten here, if you might remember, from going to the main platform, I searched for cattle, I filtered down to Bondurant history, and I clicked this video. You might notice up here that there's links. There's this, what we call a theme. So each organization has the ability to create its banner and menus and things like that. So actually, if I click up here, I'm going now to Bondurant History's website, and they've seamlessly integrated Aviary in to their website. So if I click around, whatever, a typical website, if I go to collections and oral histories, I'm now brought into the Aviary platform. And if I do that search again, I only am searching Bondurant history. I'm not searching across the platform. So this allows people to create a more seamless experience, integrated into their website. So I'm now not looking at all of the content across all of the platform, but just at Bondurant history's content. So, within 2 to 3 clicks, you can be exactly where you want to be within an audio or video file. So this solves the problem of kind of hunting and pecking around files for a long time, trying to find the exact spot where you're looking for. And of course, I'm showing transcripts here. As I mentioned, there's also indexes. So an example, that the Wisconsin Historical Society is an OHMs user, and they've imported content and indexes here. So if for instance, this one has extensive index work. Each index point shows up on the timeline as a blue mark, and it gives you the title or the header for that index. So I can click on those, and the text will synchronize and go back and forth. And I don't mean to skip over the resource metadata here. We've got subject, terms, identifiers, format, description. This is fully customizable. We have some kind of out-of-the-box fields that we give, but people can customize the metadata however they like, show or hide, put it in the order that they want, whatever makes sense. And I'll just point out quickly that this, I'll take something that's going to be obvious here so we don't get a ton of results, but if we go to Google and we search that term, this shows up populated in Aviary. So this is indexed by Google so that it's searchable, but it's also within the platform creates a high degree of discoverability. So, when you're searching certain terms, users may find your organization that may not otherwise. There's also an advanced search feature. So we can say, for instance, that we want to search for the term storage, and we want to make sure that the term LTO, which is a data type of storage, shows up somewhere. If we do that search, we can get that, and this tells us here that storage was found in the transcript 71 times, and the LTO in the transcript 15. This MoMA presentation showed up in the transcript several times. Up here, the term storage shows up in the resource metadata description field and in the transcript. So we've got the ability to do some sophisticated searching, browsing, and faceting over here on the left. Let me now, so everything that I've been showing you is I'm not logged in, I'm not a registered user. This is what organizations have chosen to make available to the public. So I'm seeing everything as a public user that is not registered in this system. I'm going to now log in as a user that actually is an administrator of organizations, just to show you kind of what the back end looks like. So I'm going to go to the AVP we have some of our videos in here. On the back end, you get this admin panel over here. Now, to create a resource is really simple. I'll show you how to do it on a single, adding one resource at a time. But you can also do this in a bulk way where you upload a CSV and the media or pointers to the media. So we'll do WiLS tests. You can say whether you want it featured or not. And then access, you can keep it totally private so that only members of your organization, which are defined over here in the users panel, can see, work on, access the content. If you make it public, it's available to people that are not logged in. If you make it restricted, it makes it available to only people that are registered logged in users. I should define the term resource quickly here. Resource in Aviary is a container that holds resource metadata, so subject, terms, keywords, title, thing like that. It holds the media files, so one resource can have more than one media file. So think here of maybe an oral history that was recorded on cassette and then digitized and produced 4 files. You can represent that as a single resource with 4 media files. The transcript and the index. So a resource holds those. So here I'm defining at the container level what I'd like to make it. I want to make this public. And you can either upload a file from your computer, right? Everybody's familiar with that. Link upload would be, this is most often used where we see like things where people want to pull in from, for instance, Internet Archive, perhaps, if they get the URL for that. Aviary will just go grab it, download it, and upload it. Or you can actually, and this is one of the things that makes Aviary really unique, you can actually use embed codes from YouTube, SoundCloud, Vimeo, and Avalon, if you're familiar with Avalon. It's a system used by libraries and archives that comes out of Indiana University and Northwestern University. You can use those embed codes. So a lot of organizations use different streaming platforms, and they use them for good reason. Sometimes it's budgetary, sometimes it's just because it's what people know. So you can actually keep your content where it exists, but pull it into Aviary. And I'm just going to show an example. Let's pull over. We'll do further freaky formats. How about that? Let's see. Now I'm just going to grab the embed code, copy, and paste that in here. I'll say upload and continue. So this could just as easily be uploading a file from my computer. When that happens, we're hosting it and storing it on a storage service called Wasabi. And you can manage, so you can, I mentioned earlier that the resource is a container for the media, the transcript and the index. I actually have permissions. I can make the resource public so that it's searchable and findable, but I can make the media and the transcript private so that someone has to request access and store it in order to find it. And I'll show you an example of that. But it's really cool because what it does is it allows you to control access without sacrificing discoverability or findability. So I'm just going to go ahead and say save, and now I've got my resource here. I can edit description however I like, and earlier I mentioned that I brought in that 3-play media, or I had a 3-play media transcript created. That costs anywhere from $1.50 to $2 a minute. It's pretty expensive. It's high quality, but it's pretty expensive. What we do when you bring in something that's on YouTube is we actually bring in the transcript that's automatically generated, which is really nifty. So it's a essentially a free mechanism to have searchable, navigable transcripts. And like I said, we can make that transcript public or not. We can also upload existing transcripts and do all kinds of things. So that creating a resource is as simple as that. And indexes, if you have an ohms.xml, you can simply import that as well here. So that's how simple it is to create a resource. And as I said, there's a bulk option, which just essentially has you populate the fields in a CSV file. And if you're uploading media, it'll ask you to put it into a zip file and including the uploaded media. Otherwise, it just asks for the URL to the YouTube video or Vimeo video or whatever it is that you want to work with. So I'm going to show you quick. I'm going to log out and quickly show you I'm going to log in as a registered user. So I'm using a different email address here. This is someone who's just registered as a user, not an administrator of any collections. And earlier I gave that example of a restricted video. So this is an example here where the resource has been made public, but the media I have to request access to. So I can request access here for stating whatever reasons I'd like to. And on the back end, as an administrator of this site, I'll get that access request, and I can either approve it or deny it. And same goes for the transcripts. I could also choose to make the transcript publicly available. So if when I click this, I would see the transcript, but I wouldn't be able to play the audio or video. So I really like that feature. I think that's really helpful to a lot of organizations. I know I'm coming up on my time here, so I'm going to be brief. I would just like to very quickly give you a glance at the permissions. So that access request that I mentioned would show up in this window, and I could approve or deny it and communicate with the person who's requesting access. But I can also proactively create access groups. So I could say that I want to allow people to view, edit, or super view is like a kind of a all-in type of thing. And I can set permissions based on user level, meaning I just simply add their email address. So when they log in as a registered user with their email address, it gives them permission to it. Or I can say anyone with an WiLS.org email address can access this, or I can say anyone at a certain IP address. So, for instance, a music library or whatever, as broad or as narrow as you'd like to define it, you can define IP addresses as the mechanism for providing access. So someone has to be on site in order to access this, and then you can either grant access, on an ongoing basis or for a particular period of time. So really, and you can use that permissions group to provide access to to collections or to individual resources. So really powerful, granular, yet easy permissions. I'll just quickly say we've got analytics built in, so you can see who's accessing what content, well, not necessarily who, but by geographic location, how many times particular pieces, resources are being played, and then some stats about, transcripts, media, things like that. So, and we have done at Yale University, we've also done integration with both Archive Space and Preservica for users of Archive Space and Preservica out there to create automated population of metadata. I can hear a mic turn on, which means I'm about to get cut off, so I will stop.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you all.
And we are at the end of your time, but if we have any time at the end, people can ask questions or they can certainly reach out to you via email. So thank you so much for for presenting. And I would like to introduce Dennis Carter and Ashley Chassé. Am I saying your name right, Ashley?
You got it.
Oh, wonderful. I'm not sure who. Oops, I'm trying to. It's not letting me share.
I just stopped, so you should be able to. Maybe now you can do it.
Let's see. It's not working on Ashley for some reason. Let's see. Somehow Jeff is the new presenter.
All right, I'll try and make Ashley the presenter now. Is it showing my email now or my embarrassingly geeky wallpaper on my computer? Give me a second here.
Hang on a second. This might be.
Yeah, I see something.
Oh, looks like it's making Ashley the presenter now.
Perfect.
Sorry about that, Ashley.
No worries.
Okay, so this is Dennis. Are we ready to get started?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much. This is Dennis Carter, the account executive for Innovative and working with our customers in the state of Wisconsin. I also have on the line Ashley, and Ashley's she's one of our sales engineers, and she's going to be giving the demo. I want to spend as much time talking about the product as we can. So Ashley is going to present for about 22, 23 minutes, and then we'll save about 5 minutes at the end to cover any questions that anyone might, who's listening live might have. And there were some questions or some topics that were submitted ahead of time, and we've incorporated all of those into Ashley's presentation. So without further ado, Ashley.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I am a former librarian, now a sales engineer for Innovative, and today we're going to talk about SkyRiver. SkyRiver is our bibliographic and authorities utility. It's a full-service bibliographic utility. It's customizable. It's got a user-friendly interface. You can edit and export MARC and authority records. We have over 74 million records and growing. These are full, unique, high-quality records that we're getting from the Library of Congress. We are a trusted source as well for the British libraries. We have automatic holdings updates, which is really great, and a really nice workflow that I will show you in a second. Oh, and I also want to mention Z3950 access via your ILS, so Polaris or Sierra. We have more than just the cataloging utility as well with SkyRiver. We have SkySearch and SkySearch Plus. So SkySearch, you can request to be added, and it's an automated process that searches the SkyRiver database and reports newly added or updated records to you. This is optional. You just make a request. You have usually response in 2 business days, and we can continue searching for records not located in the database for up to 6 months if you prefer for the SkySearch Plus. We also have SkyWatch, which is an automated process that reports newly updated or enriched records. And then we also have SkyMatch, and that can bring in it's a MARC delivery service, which integrates the delivery of cataloging materials with physical processes from the vendor. And we are currently in production with Midwest, Ingram, Baker & Taylor, and Yankee Book Publishers. Finally, I just want to mention eMarc Express, which is for e-materials. So I believe we're currently working with Overdrive and Biblioteca 3M. And excuse me. So, so I just wanted to go over those really briefly, and you can talk to Dennis more about any of those services if you're curious. But I did want to get right into SkyRiver because that's what we're here for. So, SkyRiver, you had a list of pros and cons or pros and questions. So you're looking for an interface that was more distinguishable from Sierra. And as you can see, this is very, very simple. Google-like searching. You just have a single search bar and you go. It's easier to view more than search results. You get authority and bib records, and there's much fewer duplication because we can report duplicate records. Anyone who's using SkyRiver can report a duplicate record or an incomplete record. But all of our records, like I said, are vetted and they're as clean as they can be. You also asked about an efficient way to identify and overlay updated bibs, and I have more information that I can go over with you now, or I can send you some information about using the automatic overlay controls in specifically Sierra or Polaris that can automate that function for you. And so we're going to just start with a search. So I'm going to enter an ISBN. Just going to grab it real quick. And if this is the only record with that ISBN in SkyRiver, which it is, it'll bring me directly to the MARC record. And right now what I can see here is in the 001 field. You can see our SkyRiver ID as well as the title, when it was last updated, and you can see it was updated not very long ago, and the number of contributing libraries to that. So 49 libraries have helped contribute to the completeness of the record. Up in the top here, you can see the 008 fields, which are delineated out for you to make it very easy to read. The bottom of the screen here, you'll see our full MARC record. And then there's an export button that can allow you to export this record directly to the ILS. The nice thing about SkyRiver is you don't have to keep going back and forth to the main search screen just to enter a new search. That's really handy. So I'm just going to run a quick search. And now I'm going to see what happens when I see a whole lot of information. Everything from alternative titles to the search to summaries to the exact search I'm looking for. If I want, I have facets on the left side that'll allow me to narrow down a little bit easier to what I'm specifically looking for. And also a tag cloud, which can then give me a little bit more, okay, this is a common tag. This is the tag I'm looking for. These are the books I want. I can run another search. And I'm going to search a children's book now. And if I want a little bit more control over my search, I can use the advanced search button. And if I start from where I was searching, I can see, okay, I can search by title. I can add author. I can do a format if I want. I can pick language, year. And if I search, I'm going to get a very nice, concise list of the Not So Quiet library, both the ebook and and the physical book. Pardon me. Sorry. And so here again, I have my tags, I have my format, and I can now do an expanded search if I click on the author and see any other publications that this author and illustrator might have been associated with, including books he's illustrated and books that he's written. Wolfie the Bunny apparently is a great book. I haven't read it yet, but it's on the list. So we have additional search features as well that I wanted to go over real quick. You can search by bib like we've been doing, or we can search by authority. or you can do batch searching. And what that means is that if I have a list of ISBNs in a file, like a text file, I can upload those and SkyRiver will automatically do a search for all of the bibliographic records on those ISBNs. So you would just hit batch search, and then you could upload or enter individually each ISBN that you want to look for. So we're going to do a search for authorities now, and I'm going to search library buildings. And now you see a whole lot. We got library buildings, buildings and equipment, and you can also change how you search, either by heading keyword or subdivision. But if what you're looking for is not in SkyRiver, which I'm sure it happens everywhere, but if what you're looking for is not there, then you want to go to a search. There is a report unavailable record form. And this is similar also to a search for an incomplete record, or more information should be added. You can just put in your information, send a confirmation, give a little bit more information about it, and hit submit. So when you do that, you're using the Sky Search feature, and that's the option to request that this record be brought into SkyRiver, and they usually reply within 2 business days. So I'm going to run an example of what it looks like when you can't find what you're looking for. And it's searching. Oh, egg on my face. So if you don't see what you're looking for, sometimes nothing will show up, and then sometimes you will get some associated records, but what you want, not here. And again, we can just go and report this record. It'll automatically bring in the search. If it's an author, it'll automatically bring that in, and you can submit that. When you do submit reports based on your login, you can use the unavailable records requests and see a list of your requests, their status, when you submitted it, and then you can get a glimpse of what's coming or when you're hoping it will be available. In SkyRiver, you can also edit and create new bib records yourself if you wanted to. So you could go to create a record, say books, and it'll give you that nice, clear, delineated 008 field and all of the other mark fields that you might want to help, or you might want to help to create a new item. You can create templates from here as well. You can get help on the MARC record by using the MARC help, or if you're using RDA, you can use the RDA toolkit to help you assign the values into each of these, each of the MARC header sections. One of the nice features too is that you can go back to a search you recently did. So if I wanted to just quickly get back to an item I already looked at, see it, and I want to verify it, I have a verify heading function. And if anything were to go wrong in this, I would have little red, yellow, or green dots. And what that green means is valid, yellow partial match, red match is a match on a 400 field and it's not good, or gray means no match, they got no match. We can also create authority records if we want. And we can also search. We're going to do an RDA search. So right now, we're going to search for a full record. So I should have mentioned that SkyRiver does support full RDA record view. So I am going to run my search. And then in here again, I can see, oh, is this it? There should be. There it is. Okay, sorry, I lost my place. So there is the 040 subfields, which is encoded with RDA. And again, if you need assistance or need a little bit of help with RDA, you have the ability to go ahead and get the toolkit and get a little bit more information. In SkyRiver, we have our settings. There we go. Where this is where you can customize look and feel, update your login information, change colors, whatever works for you, your export information, and so on. So this has been really, really quick, and I still have a few minutes, so I do want to ask if there's anything else you'd like to see in particular for SkyRiver that I haven't gone over.
Does anybody have any questions or requests for Ashley?
This is a lot briefer than normal, so if there's anything else.
I don't see anything. Dennis mentioned that he had some. I'm sorry. Roxanne said, "How well does this product work with Cersei?"
Sure. So SkyRiver is a wholly independent product. It works with any ILS, and so any ILS that you're using, we can set it up to allow you to do an export and then import into Cersei. The only direct connections that we have would be through Sierra and Polaris, so that you can do those automatic loads. That is a really good question. I am not sure who else in Wisconsin is using SkyRiver.
Owls, I believe.
Yes.
Let's see. Dennis, help me out. Who else?
Oh no, I was just looking.
Winding Rivers. Is Lacrosse?
I think so.
Yeah, we have like 5 or 6 customers that are using it in Wisconsin, and then of course a number of customers in other states as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Roxanne, if you wanted to talk to Amanda at Owls, I know I don't think that everybody goes through WiLS for SkyRiver currently, but I do know that Owls is currently using it, and I'm sure that Amanda would be happy to speak with you if you wanted to talk to her. Okay, I can follow up with you after the webinar.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Yeah, and if we need some additional names, just let me know, and then I can look it up. I was going to, oh, sorry, do we have another question?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was going to mention there was a question or some concern about the future of the SkyRiver product from the IUG meeting, and unfortunately, I think the terminology that was used at that time was confusing. We thought we had gotten that corrected before people left. But anyway, during the opening session, I think the terminology that was used was legacy product or something along that line. And some folks walked away thinking that we were taking SkyRiver to end of life it, to bring it to an end, a termination. And that's not the case. When we refer to legacy products, Sierra is a legacy product. Polaris is a legacy product. SkyRiver is a legacy product. Those basically refers to products that have been around, that are part of our main line of products. We're planning to continue to support SkyRiver as an individual product. However, we're also working on our next generation solution, which is the Inspire platform. So at some point, all of the functionality of SkyRiver will be rolled into the Inspire platform. Now, the normal question that comes up is, will there be a separate cost? We haven't made a determination yet because we haven't identified the timeline for when that will happen. It's probably at least 3 or 4 years down the road before that happens. The earliest it would be a couple of years from now, but more likely about 3 or 4 years before all of the functionality of SkyRiver is rolled into the Inspire platform. But even then, let's just use 3 years, even then we will continue to provide SkyRiver as a separate application beyond when that functionality is rolled into the Inspire platform. So I like to say it'll be around past the time that I retire, although I'm a relatively young guy. But anyway, so it'll be around for a number of years as an independent product. But for those innovative customers that that move to the Inspire platform, it will be included as part of the platform. But for customers who are not innovative ILS users, we'll continue to provide the SkyRiver application as a separate application for a number of years.
And there's another question from Becky Peterson. Dennis, are there any Cersei Dynex customers using SkyRiver in Wisconsin?
I don't know about Wisconsin specifically. There are some we do have some Cersei Dynex customers. I can get that back to you later on. I'll have to go into the system and look.
Okay. And also, do WiLS co-op members qualify for a discount for SkyRiver?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
So you had to talk to the WiLS people. I mean, because the WiLS members have to talk to the WiLS staff to find out what the discount is.
And Julia Wagoner is asking if there are any Voyager users.
I will check and see. To be honest with you, all that information is in our system, and I don't. I just had to look who's using SkyRiver and then what ILS they're using. I don't normally look up the Voyager and the Cersei part, so that's something I can follow up with you.
Okay, that sounds great. Does anybody else have any questions?
One thing I do want to mention about SkyRivers to alleviate any fear is that we're still maintaining it. We're still bringing in new records. It's not being, like Dennis said, it's not going away. So it is still very up to date, and it's still just as robust as it is. It's just currently we are looking towards, like Dennis said, our future Inspire platform.
Okay, thanks, Ashley, for that clarification. Okay, well, we finished a few minutes early, and I just want to thank each of you for attending. Please feel free to reach out to our presenters directly, or you can always reach us at coop@wils.org for questions and feedback. Dennis will follow up with us with the Cersei Dynex and Voyager questions, and I will follow up with Roxanne directly about with the OWLS contact. So next month, typically we alternate the Taco Tuesdays with what we call a Taco Tuesday potluck, which is a specific theme. But we're shaking things up, and September 3rd, we hope that you will join us at 11:30 a.m. for another Taco Tuesday. We will be featuring True Cereals, Susan Gall from FactSite, Gwen Mack and Lisa Kenny from Tales to Go, and Elizabeth Mays from Pressbooks. Again, just a reminder, this session was recorded, and we will be segmenting it and sharing it out to all the registrants. And thank you again so much for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you on September 3rd.
Thanks so much.